this is Runa and you're listening to the Changemakers podcast, where we share tips, insight, tools and stories from other changemakers designed to motivate you to become the change you want to see in your world. Make sure you join our Changemakers community at runamagnus.com/podcast. And now, this is your time to sit back, relax and enjoy. Meet my special guest, Ísak Hilmarsson from Iceland. He and his girlfriend started a project back in 2019 called Birth Stories from Fathers, collecting, stories from fathers. What does it mean to them when they become dads? What are they experiencing being there beside their wife or their partners on maybe the biggest day in their lives, becoming fathers, seeing their newborn being born? I thought this whole project to be something that is probably a blind spot in many of the discussions that we're having around gender equality. Are fathers, do they experience this experience in a way that is fulfilling for them? Are they feeling that they're on the side there? Are there things that we can do that can make fathers even feel they are even more part of the process? We know that it's the mothers who are giving birth, but what this role of being the supportive act that, like many of them talk about it, what can we do more about that? Can we open up the discussions around that? Can we share? I think this whole project is so interesting. I had to get Ísak as a guest on this very special episode, talking about birth stories from fathers and what he and his girlfriend, Greta Maria, are going to do about it. I'm sure you're going to love this episode, which is, by the way, sponsored by the No More Boxes movement, where we are raising the awareness towards these endless boxes that we are putting ourselves and others into. Raising the consciousness of the human beings on this planet by being a little bit more conscious of where you're putting what box you're putting yourself in the moment that you're putting another person into another box. That's what it's all about. But here it is, Ísak Hilmarsson. Hey Ísak, I am so excited to have you as our guest at the Changemakers podcast. Your topic, dads and birth stories, is, when I saw that, I was just going, oh yes, finally we get to hear this part. What happens to fathers when they witness the birth of their children?
Mm-hmm.
So thank you. And to begin with, tell us a little bit about, how did this whole thing start for you? How did that come up?
Yeah, first of all, thank you. Thank you for that. I'm also excited to be here with you. The idea came to our mind last summer. We were actually, it's better to start there. My girlfriend is a midwife, so therefore she also she gets all kinds of stories, birth stories, from mothers and also from fathers, especially our friends. And last summer, actually, it started as a joke. We were discussing, the two of us, me and Greta, about birth and pregnancy, and since we have one 2-year-old daughter, I have a little experience in this. I said to her, we should create a place for fathers to discuss those things from the father's perspective. It's time to hear the voice of the fathers, and we should also publish the stories, collect stories from them and publish them in a book. And Greta stopped and looked at me and said, yeah, that's a great idea. We should do that.
Yeah.
And we started, of course, to discuss this further, and we saw that it was actually a good idea, and nobody had done this before in Iceland. And after we discussed this more further, I looked it up on the internet, and I couldn't find any stories. Or sorry, I found 2 stories from fathers in Icelandic where they were saying or talking about the birth of their children.
Yeah.
So yeah, we saw that there was this needed to be done.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is an experience. This is, I mean, nowadays, I think I was reading somewhere that the birth rate in Iceland is 1.4, I think, per woman. And you think, no, this is rare.
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, it's very rare. It's not as having as many children as our grandparents or great-great-grandparents had at the time. It's just very different. But tell me, so you decided to go ahead with it and you start to collect stories. And what was the reaction? What happened?
We launched a Facebook page to introduce the project to fathers and the society, and also to collect stories. And within the first 24 hours, we received 2 stories, I think. So the reaction was very good, and the response has been very good from day one. We have gotten a lot of stories, a lot of stories, and people are really excited about this, both mothers and also fathers. And people are willing to share their experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think this is so interesting, because this is one of those things how we've been evolving and how things are evolving. I mean, I know that my grandfather, he was there when my mother was born. Which was absolutely, I mean, she was born in 1933, by the way.
Yeah.
So which was absolutely such a rare thing. And he actually he was ridiculed because of that. And people were judging him. What are you doing? What's the matter with you, man?
Yeah.
Now we're going into, it's really rare if you're that and you're not there.
Yeah. The society tells you that you should be there.
You should be there, yeah. But we don't hear those stories, because here you are as a dad, and you're supporting your partner or your wife in the most beautiful, we should be, not always the most beautiful, but it's a big event. What do you see? What are maybe the common threads that you see in those stories that you have received? What are dads experiencing?
In the stories that we have collected so far, I think the red thread is that fathers feel like they're on the side. I mean, they are supporting actors in this. They're not, of course, not in the main role, but many of them, they don't know what to do. They are uncertain. They don't know how to react and what to do and what not to do, and many of them. Of course, not everyone, but many of them.
Have you seen then, now that your partner, your girlfriend is a midwife? Have you seen like anything that can be added into the journey of the pregnancy? That I know already that many couples go on these courses and there the father has a certain role and
we did that.
But can we add something into that so that it becomes more? They feel that they're more part of that, or?
I think the midwives and I think the whole process is always working towards supporting fathers as well as the mothers, or acting. They're trying their best, I think. I think everyone is trying their best. But if you look into the stories, we need to do a little bit more there, a little better.
Do they come up with ideas themselves? Now I'm thinking about, because this is blind spot. This is blind spot. I think it's a perfect blind spot. And I've seen so often when we, like, even when we put together a group of people that want to, like on a customer journey, if we look at that as a customer journey, you bring in a group of people and say, okay, so how can we do this better? How can we add into it so that
a focus group.
Yeah, like a focus group. How can this be a different and even a better experience? Is that something you've done, or?
No, we haven't done that. But I've heard from many fathers that someone say there should be a course for the first few weeks when you after the birth, when you, especially for your first child or something.
Yeah.
But I think that exists today. I'm not sure. I think you can. But on the other hand, one could argue that nothing can prepare you 100% for the whole process. But like you said, it's a blind spot, and it's definitely an opportunity for someone to, I guess, fill that spot.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So we're going out there and we're putting it into the universe.
Yeah.
People who want to be part of creating really good dads, even better dads, that are then even more emotionally connected to their newborn baby and supportive to their partner or wife. Here's your opportunity. Yeah, it's a blind spot.
Of course, without taking anything from, there might be someone out there doing that and maybe doing it very well also.
Yeah. But I think it's a definitely a thing that would be fascinating to even do a research on. So what are the changes? What's different when you do that in so many levels? Yeah, exactly. So you're now collecting stories for a book.
Yeah.
Tell us more. What are you going to do with the book?
We are collecting stories, and we want to publish them in a book with where all the stories are anonymous, so no names there. Yeah. It was one of the first thing that we decided when we wanted to collect the stories. We should have them anonymous, so nobody should be afraid of. I mean, Iceland is a small country, so if you, we thought that we would get more stories if we would have them anonymous. Yeah. We want to, by each story, we want to display the year of the birth of the
child,
child, and also the father. So the reader can know something about the background, if you can say so. And also the birth, place of birth. It can be Iceland, it can be Reykjavik, or the western part of, or even a street address if you want. It doesn't matter. Just so we have some idea of that.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
And we want to publish the book to help the project stay alive, hopefully for many years. I mean,
what is Isak doing this? Going ahead with this idea that was originally a joke. What has this been giving you personally?
A lot, actually.
Yeah.
We have received so many messages and emails from fathers saying, "Thank you for starting this. Thank you for giving me the chance of writing my stories and just let it out." So that has been very nice. Very, it's actually just an amazing project. I mean, overall,
it is an amazing project.
Some of the stories are happy, and some of them are sad, and of course, just how like our life is. So but overall, it's giving us a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And you're opening up space for a way to communicate your experience as fathers on that very special moment when your child is born. Isak, I'm sorry our time is up, but I just want to say thank you for for being that change and going ahead with it, and showing the rest of the world that gender equality is not just about women this or women that. It's really about how can we create a world where people thrive and they feel that they are of value and they are needed as they are. So we need good dads for sure.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you for having me.
Was this podcast of value for you? I sure hope so. If so, feel free to share the love and give us your generous review on iTunes or Stitcher. And remember that you can always go to runemagnus.com to find out more about the Changemakers and how we can help you drive the change you want to see in your world.